Hi, folks. Al, and you're about to see some of the most exciting and outstanding football you'll ever see as we watch the San Diego Chargers rebound from a third-place Western Division finish in 1962 to the Western Division title and the 1963 World Championship of Professional Football. Yes, sir, 1963 was quite a year for San Diego and the Chargers, so just sit back and relax, and let's travel via an American Airlines Astrojet, of course, to Balboa Stadium for the opening game of the American Football League season. It's the Chargers and the Jack Kemp-led Buffalo Bills, a fine crowd on hand to find out if the Chargers' 4-1 preseason record is an indication of good things to come. Here we see Tobin Rote, who the Charger backers deemed the Chargers' most valuable player, completing a swing pass to fullback Keith Lincoln for a 32-yard gain. Man, oh man, look out. A field goal attempt by George Blair was wide following this one. And next we see the Buffalo Bills on the move. Kemp, a San Diego resident, hands off to his great 253-pound fullback, Cookie Gilchrist, who checks up the middle, skirts left end for 4 yards before being stopped by safety man Charlie McNeil. Now it's Kemp back to pass. The San Diego resident looks for the fleet Albert Dubenian and lets sail. The defensive backs, Bud Whitehead and Charlie McNeil, are on the job. Bud shaken up a bit after intercepting the pass, but he comes right back to tackle end Bill Miller, who takes a quick pass from Kemp for 4 yards. Whitehead, a great year for Bud. Buffalo has the ball again, and we see Kemp drop back for another pass. A good rush by the Chargers' defensive line forces Kemp to throw hurriedly, and this time it's linebacker Bob Meidinger, 235-pound former Penn State star, making the interception. The Chargers take over, and from our ground-level camera now, we see Tobin Rote hitting fullback Jerry McDougal on a swing pass good for 15 yards. Jerry streaking down the sideline before being bounced out of bounds by Booker Edgerson. Now Rote with great protection by 75, Ernie Wright, 65, Sam Gruneisen, Don Rogers, 52, Pat Shea, and Ron Mix hits the tight end, Dave Kasurik, who moves to the 1-yard line. Rote then climaxes the drive by handing off the hard-driving fullback Bobby Jackson, who literally bulls his way into the end zone for the first 1963 Charger touchdown. With the Chargers leading, Jack Kemp drops back to find his protective passing cup running over with Chargers. Earl Faison forces Kemp into Ernie Ladd, come to the biggest daddy of them all. Now Kemp retreats way back and throws a safety valve pass to Michigan State rookie George Sames. The Chargers blitz their safety men, and George Blair upsets Mr. Sames with Chuck Allen and Bobby Lane adding final touch. This time, Kemp hands off to Sames, who has the misfortune of running into Big Ernie. Goodbye football, and Charlie McNeil beats Kemp in the race for the elusive pigskin. Now here's Rote, flagging one way and throwing another to end Jerry Robinson. It may be an interception here, unless, oh boy, Jerry, with those great hands, just takes that ball right away from Booker Edgerson. The Charger drive stalls, the Bills take over. Here's Kemp looking for a receiver, and if Earl Faison had been his target, he'd been in good shape, but Earl's got mayhem on his mind, and Jack's on the back of his lap, and there's Bob Petman standing by. Now the Chargers try to get something going. Tobin Rote pitches the ball low. 64, Pat Shea, among other Bulls, as the linemen are affectionately labeled, contributes a block, and like an Astro jet, Lowe is through the maze and headed for a touchdown. Perfect landing and 6 points. Teammates Paul McGuire and Frank Bunkin sure enjoyed that trip. San Diego 14, Buffalo 10 final, and the Chargers have their first win. Well, after edging Boston 17-13 in a night game at Balboa Stadium, the Chargers face another stiff challenge in the form of the defending AFL champion Kansas City Chiefs. Chargers get off to a fast start, but in slow motion we see Rote behind bodyguard Ernie Wright completing a 20-yard touchdown pass to Big Dave Kasurik. A beauty. Kansas City comes back. Quarterback Lenny Dawson takes to the air in the first effort by the Chiefs. Lenny Dawson, a year ago, the outstanding player in the AFL, takes a look. Coach Walt Hackett's defensive lineman Bob Petrich, then Ladd, then Hank Schmidt apply the pressure. The result, a fine fingertip interception by Charlie McNeil. There on the sidelines, Walt Sweeney, and he's happy. In the second quarter, history repeats itself. Rote calls on Kasurik to run another Y-up pattern. Faster than you can say fly American Airlines, the Chargers own a 14-0 lead. Now Dawson looks for a receiver, and all he sees is a 6'9" lad and a partner in crime, 6'5" Petrich. Dawson drops 10 yards back, but he came out alive. Here's blocking at its best. Number 75 Wright gets his block at the line of scrimmage, as do Lincoln and Allworth on a crackback, and just see what Lowe can do with a little daylight. Number 64 Shea, 65 Gruneisen provide the convoy, and Lowe gains 25 yards. Watch that forearm, boy. In slow motion again, Rote flares Keith Lincoln out to the left flat, and Keith, with some nifty twisting, dances his way into the end zone for 22 yards and the Chargers' third score. Lincoln outmaneuvers number 45, Dave Grayson, the San Diego boy here, and number 42, Johnny Robinson on this excursion. Jerry Robinson, an assist for Keith. Looks as if the Chargers landing over the Chiefs will hold true. Well, again, Lenny Dawson attempts to move the Chiefs behind fine pass blocking. Dawson completes the pass, but for the Chargers, middle linebacker Chuck Allen, who duplicated this maneuver several times over the season. After a Kansas City field goal late in the second quarter and a scoreless third period, the Chiefs' fine young punter, Jerry Wilson, gets off a 52-yard punt to Allworth. Little Bambi makes like Houdini as he makes his way 17 yards upfield. A nice block for him by Bobby Lane. Lance just picking him up and laying him down. Finally tripped up. Quarterback Johnny Hadle comes in to control the Chargers here, and he makes his presence felt in a hurry with his play-action pass to end Jerry Robinson. Come on, Johnny, throw that thing. Complete to Mr. Robinson. Well, after receiving an embarrassing shellacking from the Broncos in Denver, the Chargers return to Balboa Stadium to face the all-new New York Jets. Aussie's marching Chargers and pom-pom pretties set the stage for victory number 4. New Jets provided plenty of surprises for the Chargers. On the first play from scrimmage, former Charger Dick Wood, long, lean quarterback, hits in Bake Turner with a 51-yard aerial, and before you could say Astro Jet, the New Yorkers held a 7-0 advantage. But the Chargers have got plenty of ammunition in their arsenal. They fire back with Paul Lowe. Watch number 65, Gruneisen, make line coach Joe Madro proud with a block that propels Lowe to a 40-yard gain. The Chargers able to move the ball but unable to put points on the scoreboard. Young Johnny Hadle, right here, named by Associated Press as the AFL's Player of the Week for this afternoon's efforts, assumes command and gives promise of great things to come as a Charger. John, in slow motion, fakes a counter to Keith Lincoln, but keeps the ball, rolls out around his right end. After a gain of 35 yards, Hadle is brought down by an irritated Marshall Starks. Johnny, a great scrambler, run, pass, battle in the scratch. This young guy from Kansas. Now here, 65, Gruneisen, and 64, Shea, provide the blocks to pave the way for a 17-yard romp by Lowe down to the 10. There's one, and bang, Shea gets his. Lowe plus football equals excitement. Again, we turn to the slow-motion camera, and Hadle climaxes this drive with a pretty pass play to Kasurik. This one's good for 8 yards and a touchdown. Johnny threads the needle on this throw, but Kasurik makes a high-flying catch of beauty. Big Dave, boom, hits the dirt and pay dirt. Chargers have the ball again, and Hadle puts them on the move on a check through to fullback Lincoln. Chargers gain 40 yards. Look at Lincoln get out of the clutches of Daynard Paulson. Keep his feet, tightrope down the sideline, eluding jet after jet. How many times he did that in 1963. Score tied 10-all. Hadle tosses to Jerry McDougal, and what looks like a run by Jerry turns into an 11-yard touchdown pass to Leapin' Lance. Allworth in the end zone. The Chargers go into the lead for the first time in the ball game, 17-10. George Blair kicks off to an old Charger nemesis, Dick Christie, and look at the determined effort now of the Charger backers' Rookie of the Year, Dick Westmoreland, a diamond in the rough, scouted out for the Chargers' always observant director of player personnel, Al Locasal. Westmoreland here, 25, battles Marshall Starks for more than 30 yards before applying a stopper to Christie's 71-yard return. The Jets have to settle for a field goal here as big tackle Hank Smith storms in to throw Wood for a 10-yard loss. Atta boy, Hank. However, the scrappy Jets forge back into the lead, 20-17. Time running out. Keith Lincoln and Shea give Lowe all the running room he needs to dash 30 yards to the 25-yard line before he's finally snowed under by a couple of the Jets. So Hadel keeps the drive alive with a 17-yard pass, plate pass to the tight end, Jack McKinnon. Big Jack, 250 pounds, belts into a defender, and down to the 8-yard line he goes. Now behind perfect blocking, you'll see Lowe scamper the remaining 8 yards for the game-winning TD. The Chargers won it, 24-20. Left Balboa Stadium with the knowledge that the Jet set would be an aggregation to be reckoned with in the future. Next, the Chargers fly into Kansas City for a return bout with the champion Chiefs in beautiful Municipal Stadium. Despite a rainy day, more than 30,000 Kansas City fans turned out for the crucial affair. Chuck Allen sets up a George Blair field goal with a second-quarter pass interception. The Chargers jump into a 3-0 lead, just one of many great defensive plays for the Chargers' brilliant middle linebacker. The advantage disappears swiftly as quarterback Len Dawson and halfback Abner Haynes team up on a 73-yard scoring pass play. Charlie McNeil futilely tries to bring down the flying Haynes, but on this one the Chiefs go ahead, 7-3. Well, it's the Chargers' turn, and they go ahead in this seesaw battle as Rote and Allworth collaborate on a 44-yard scoring pass. Another fine job of ball handling, beautifully thrown pass, and Lance all by himself just scoots her on in. Tommy Brooker kicked a field goal for the Chiefs, and with the score 10-10 in the third quarter, Rote and Allworth, wriggling free here from Dwayne Wood, get together again for a 28-yard gain. Pull him down. Just try it. Lowe now threads his way through heavy traffic for 9 yards and the touchdown, and the Chargers lead again 17-10. Watch the most exciting football player in the game. Zip and in. And that football gets heavy for Brother Lowe when he crosses that double stripe. Next up, burglary. Allworth steals it from Dwayne Wood, leaping high to gather in this pass from Rote. And this was a common occurrence for Lance all year. Play good for 72 yards. The Chargers a 2-touchdown margin. The Chiefs prove they're not content to be down without a fight. Dawson narrows the point spread, 24-17, with his perfect touchdown pass to Fred Urbanus, one-time Michigan State great. Chargers, however, are not to be denied this afternoon, and Rote retaliates with a toss to Lincoln, who gets outside the blitzing Kansas City defense and bursts 76 yards for a touchdown. And watch Lowe, one of backfield coach Bones Taylor's prize pupils, zoom in like an American Airlines Astrojet to escort Keith to a happy landing. Touchdown Flames. Now defensive backfield coach Chuck Knowles' boys adjust on this interception on a 40-yard return, during which George Blair juggles, falls, and gets up. Karras, 56, 36 Harris, 27 McNeil, and 84 McGuire turn from defenders to offensive blockers, and they do quite a job. The Chargers quickly spring low, 21 yards, to clinch a mighty big victory. San Diego 38, Kansas City 17. Oh, man, how sweet it is. Then after a tough loss to Oakland, some thought the Chargers were slipping. Well, American Airlines brought them east for 3 games, in each of which the opponent was the Eastern Division leader. Here on a cold, windy night in New York, Ernie Park, DeLuca, Lowe look on a rain-soaked field and the Jets. Tobin Rote was red hot, weather notwithstanding. Here Tobin clicks on a 62-yarder to Allworth, and the Arkansas jumping bean makes like springs in the feet, once more, off and running. What are you going to do with one like this, huh? Now, still rolling. The Chargers on a check-through find Rote looking and finding Keith Lincoln. And Keith makes a juggling catch. Hang on to it, Keith. 15 yards. Rote and Lowe get together quickly on a screen pass for the touchdown. Number 38, Jack McKinnon, 52, Don Rogers, and 64, Pat Shea all get a jet. Lowe makes like a jet as he sails on into the end zone. Now New York quarterback Dick Wood tries to sustain a drive and sneak for a first down, but an Auburn rookie, great, outstanding rookie, George Gross, the wrong man to run into. The resultant fumble recovered by Karras. Keith Kinderman over to help. Rote, who hit on 18 of 27 passes for more than 300 yards in the hallowed polo grounds, next hits Basurik on a 14-yard scoring play. Dick Harris, the league's second leading interceptor, steals a Wood aerial here, and Dick brings that football back 18 yards. Frank Bunkum gives Dandy Dick a little blocking help. There's the throw. That up, boy, right in there. Little freckle-faced corner man for the Chargers turns it on offensively now. Brings her back 18. Now we see Rhoda at his ball handling best. Complete another alley-oop pass to Live Lance. Look at that fake. Up she goes. And up he goes. And it's good for 16 yards. And again I say, what do you do with a guy like this? Now behind the blocking of Shea, number 64, 60 to Luca, 75 Wright, and 19 Allworth. Low squirts in, looking him clear the way. It's another touchdown. The Chargers are running off with the Bronx. The Jets, who next season will be playing in brand new 60,000-seat Flushing Meadows Stadium, are on the move as Wood passes complete to fullback Mark Smolinski, but watch Chuck Allen. Balooey, my aching back. Defensive captain Emil Karras recovers for the Chargers. Now, despite a fierce rush by Charlie Jenneret, Rhodes gets off the pass, and Allworth makes with the acrobatics. Hold it. Tony Stryker goes high, but Lance goes into orbit. And it's 6 points for the Chargers. The Chargers capped this 53-7 rout as Jerry McDougal, behind the blocking of 22 Lincoln, 52 Rogers, 64 Shea, who just wedged the Jets out, plunges over for the touchdown. American Airlines safely and swiftly jets the Chargers toward Boston for another Titanic against the Patriots, who have moved into first place in the Eastern Division following the Jets' loss to the Chargers. Meanwhile, on the West Coast, the surprising Oakland Raiders are just one game behind the Chargers. A loss at this stage could be disastrous. But at Boston, in a scoreless, tension-packed game, the Chargers force a break as the defensive line jars the slippery football from the grasp of Patriot halfback Larry Guerin, and Dick Westmoreland recovers. Now on a stop-and-go pattern, the Chargers appear to have gained the upper hand as Rhodes hits Allworth for a touchdown. However, a penalty nullified this one, but the Chargers strike right back as Rhodes again goes for Allworth. This time she's a screen pass, and this is the first time the Chargers showed this play in 1963. Getting fine blocks from DeLuca and Kasurik, little Bambi bounds into the end zone on a 23-yarder. There's DeLuca. Here's Big Dave. Down he goes. Only one of 13 passes Allworth caught during the day to tie the AFL record for most passes caught in a game. Now keep your eyes on number 78 on this play. That's the sadistic Walter Francis Sweeney nailing the ball carrier, Guerin, again on a kickoff return. The Chargers' first draft choice in 1962, Sweeney had his own fan club on all special team efforts. It was the Charger defense that dominated this game as the Patriots could get only 2 field goals. Chuck Allen's interception here of a Babe Briley pass, typical of the clutch defense that produced a 7-6 must win. An overflow crowd of 38,592 in War Memorial Stadium watched the Chargers take on the Eastern Division leading Buffalo Bills next. Bills fullback Cookie Gilchrist, who had a great afternoon, has shown bullying into the end zone despite George Blair and Dick Harris. Bills rooters anticipating an upset as the Buffalo team was moving, but the Chargers retaliated like lightning. Here's Lincoln on a counter behind beautiful line blocking, flashing 54 yards for the tying touchdown. He runs so hard and so strong that dirt flies from the cleats as he breaks into the clear. Blair kicked a 36-yard field goal, but the Bills were quick to strike back after a great catch to Jack Kemp pass by Ernie Warlick. Dick Harris downing Warlick. Buffalo advances to the 9-yard line. At this point, the Chargers' Red Dog linebackers successfully. Karras and McGuire swarming over Kemp for an 11-yard loss. However, Mac Yoho's field goal made it 10-10 at halftime. Walt Sweeney with Hank Smith and Gary Glick. Sweeney has blocked the punt, and the Chargers take over. Rote tosses to Lincoln, who makes a fine grab for an apparent score, but the official calls offensive captain 74 Ron Mix for pushing, and look at this reaction by Mr. Mix. He does not believe it. So the Chargers are penalized back to the 17-yard line, and Rote hits Allworth, running to the post. And what do you think? The go-ahead touchdown for Brother Lance. We see another great effort by rookie Dick Westmoreland that prevents a Bills touchdown. The brilliant freshman from North Carolina A&T finally hauls down Elbert Golden Wheels to Bennion, a 9-4 sprinter, on a 45-yard play during which Westmoreland was at the chase for 25 yards. The Chargers held, but Yoho kicked another field goal to make it 17-13. 2 George Blair field goals increased the Chargers' advantage 23-13, which the Chargers' proud defense valiantly protected to the final gun. An American Airlines Astrojet returned the Chargers from an all-victorious Eastern expedition to a cheering crowd of several thousand fans. However, the Chargers had to save their jubilation as the Oakland Raiders were still but one game behind. Next up, the Houston Oilers, two-time AFL champions and for 3 years Eastern Division titleists. Oh, it's good to be back home in the friendly confines of Balboa Stadium, and head coach Sid Gilman is shown on the sidelines as the Chargers take to the attack. Rote baffles the Oilers with some now-you-see-it, now-you-don't ball handling before completing a pass to Allworth, who makes a difficult catch in a crowd. Rote then comes back with a fullback draw. Lincoln romps 15 yards for the touchdown. Blocks by Mick, Shea, and Rogers provide the running room for Keith, and he bangs in. Here's Coach Bones Taylor now on the phone to the press box. And here's the play that came down from Coaches Madrow and Knoll. It's Lincoln on a draw play, and before he's tripped up, he scoots for 15 yards. Legs still pumping in the air. Chargers unable to advance, but with George Blair around, it doesn't go for naught. Blair, one of football's most accurate placement specialists, booms a 42-yarder, and the Chargers lead 10-0. Blair kicks off to the Oilers' Freddie Glick, brother of the Chargers' Gary, and after a fine run back, brother Fred is belted by Big Bobby Jackson. Jackson not only forced the fumble, but he got up and he recovered the football. You know, it takes slow motion to fully appreciate the technique in disguising this next play, which instead of a field goal by Blair with Rote holding, turns into a screen pass to Kasurik with Rote throwing. Watch that fake. Isn't that beautiful? Blair carries it out, Rote carries it out, a perfect pass to Kasurik. He gets blocking down ahead of him, and watch this big 250-pounder romp. Up and over the top and finally hauled down after a rugged struggle, but for an important first down. The Chargers drive for another touchdown, and here they are on the 2-yard line, and again in slow motion, 75 Wright, 88 Don Norton, 22 Lincoln, and 64 Shea make way for Lowe to whirl in for another Charger tally. The Chargers lead 17-0. Chargers are in possession once again, and watch Lincoln decoy the Oilers' all-league defensive back Tony Banfield when he points as if to say, look out for that guy behind you. All right, Keith, turn that corner. Here comes Tony. Look out, Tony. And he gets it around the horn. That one set up a 20-yard field goal by George Blair with only 14 seconds left in the first half. The Chargers ended the scoring in the fourth quarter on this perfectly executed touchdown pass from Rote to Allworth. Hold it now, right here. Great pass protection. Wright, DeLuca, Rogers, Shea, Mix, Lincoln. Lance catches the ball between Oilers' Mark Johnson and Jim Norton. Final score 27-0. First time in 45 games the Oilers and George Bland had been shut out. In possession of a 2-game lead, the Chargers dropped one to the Raiders. But a victory over the Oilers in Houston maintained that 1-game edge for the Chargers. And here we see head coach and general manager Sid Gilman cheering them on as they host the Denver Broncos in the final game of the regular season, needing a victory to clinch the Western Division title. Early in the game, former Charger quarterback Don Bro completes a swing pass to Gene Mingo, who is belted by Emil Karras, fumbles, and the 260-pound Auburn rookie star George Gross flies over to make the recovery of that football. And then following an exchange of touchdowns, we're going to see linebacker Bob Meilinger, the big 235-pounder, making a whirly, dervish interception of a Bro pass. And he turns in quite a run back, gets a block from teammate Dick Harris. Dandy Dick gives him one there, and Big Bob makes like a halfback down that sideline. Rote gets a little fancy on this next play, handing off to Lincoln, only to have Keith lateral the ball back, from which point Tobin spots Don Norton and hits him for a 29-yard gain. Charlie Mitchell forcing Norton out of bounds. Scoring here, the Chargers assume 17-7 lead, with word from Oakland that the Raiders lead. No, the Oilers lead. Oh, nuts. Let's watch Lincoln power his way through tackle after tackle after tackle for 15 yards. Alvin Roy, the Chargers' strength coach, was all smiles on that one. And then it's Rote to Kasurik on a Y cross, and the Chargers, after a Denver touchdown, hold a 23-14 advantage. Now here's one of Paul Lowe's exciting impromptu field reversals. Look at the blocking once he changes directions. First of all, Sam DeLuca, number 60, gives him one, bang. And then Keith Lincoln comes up from the rear, number 22, the room, Ernie Park, the room, Allworth, room, 75 yards. An exchange of field goals by Blair and Mingo brought the score to 26-17 at halftime. And late in the third period, Lowe prances behind Lincoln. DeLuca blocks for 66 yards and a touchdown, those guards leading the play. Lowe runs away from former Charger Bob Zeman, and the Charger lead goes to 33-17. Don Pro's going to wish he wasn't in there on this play. Big Ernie Ladd just gobbles him up on this one, forcing a fumble, which Alert Earl Faison finally corners. What a pair that is. So next it's Rote and Lincoln. Little toss to Keith behind the sure blocking of 74 Mix and 83 Kasurik. There's Ron, and there's Big Dave. In he goes from 29 yards out. It's 43-20 Chargers. And they come right back for more as Emil Karras hits Donnie Stone after he receives a pass. The ball is loose, but up comes the ever-present Chuck Allen. And look at the Charger middle linebacker scoot in 38 yards for a touchdown. It's 50-20. Well, with Johnny Hadle at the helm now, and the final Oakland score, 52-49 Raiders, so who cares now? The Chargers get their final touchdown of the regular season on a pass from Hadle to Big Jack McKinney. It was really coming into his own. And there's the evidence. Chargers 58, Denver 20. The Chargers are Western Division champions for the third time in 4 years. But they must wait to see who wins a playoff between the Boston Patriots and the Buffalo Bills to discover who's the championship game opponent. Well, as it turned out, the Patriots got the nod. Just one more to go. The 20th game of a long, long pressure-packed season. But the big game, all the chips are riding on this one. Well, let's go. Here's part of the more than 30,000 fans who turned out for the championship game at Balboa Stadium. Little did they expect what they finally got. And here's Charger President Barron Hilton with the former mayor of San Diego, the Honorable Charles C. Dale, and R.W.E. Jones, president of Grambling College. The band delighted the crowd with pregame and halftime entertainment. Charger offensive captain Ron Mix is introduced to the crowd, none better in football. Here's Paul Lowe, the most exciting back in football. And need I say, this is the most exciting football player in the world. Here's Keith Lincoln, the more versatile football player you won't find. And finally, for the Chargers, the old pro, quarterback Tobin Rowe. Well, on the Chargers' first play from scrimmage, all hands got a sample of what was to be the order of the day. Keith Lincoln, who gained a whopping total of 349 yards on a counter play, spurts for 56 yards. This was typical the entire afternoon. Now, how about coming back, Keith? Letting us take another look at that one, huh? Atta boy. You know, this is the only way the Patriots got Keith to lose ground during the entire championship football game. We'll see this again. Stop the action for you. Take a look at some great blocking. Don Norton riding shotgun on this great run by Keith. You'll notice number 52, Don Rogers, blocking down on Jesse Richardson. Number 60, Sam DeLuca, pulling, cleaning out the area, as does number 64, Pat Shea. And Brother Lincoln is on his way. What a great back this fellow was in 1963. Got the Hickok January month Athlete of the Month award. Well-deserved it was. That one set up the first touchdown, and it's Tobin Rote sneaking over from the 2-yard line. The Chargers lead 7-0. The game only a minute and a half old. Mighty happy San Diego football fans. Brother, they've only seen the beginning. After the Charger defense held the Patriots, the Chargers got the ball on their own 33-yard line, and here's that man Lincoln again on a toss from Rote. It's Lincoln rambling behind a devastating block by number 75, Ernie Wright, for the score. Keith hurdling right and outrunning the defenders. Right quick, it's 14-0 San Diego Chargers for the AFL Championship. Patriots opened up to get back into the game. Forte Perilli hitting Gino Capoletti on a 49-yard pass play. Dick Westmoreland, who's been out for 3 weeks with a knee injury, recovers beautifully to make the stop. Larry Garion puts the Patriots on the scoreboard 2 plays later, going in from the 7-yard line. Chargers 14, Patriots 7, but the Chargers storm back. Rote flips to Lowe, and behind Ron Mix, and watch this Mix out in front. Bang! Come on right back, Ron. Bang again. And finally, the nimble speedster ambles 58 yards for the touchdown. And boy, that ball gets heavy. So drop it. That's a good place to drop it in pay dirt. Now watch these two defensive stalwarts. Ernie Ladd and Earl Faison mistreat Babe Perilli on back-to-back plays. There's Big Ernie, and down goes little Babe. And next comes Earl, who spins the Kentucky Babe around like a top. Schmidt and Petrich providing insurance. What a duo. 320 pounds of Ernie Ladd on the left, 260 pounds of Earl Faison on the right. It's Lincoln's turn to take off like an American Airlines Astrojet again, behind crunching blocks by Rogers, Mix, and Kasurik. Keith races 45 yards before he's tripped up. From this point, George Blair kicks field goal. The Charger lead swells to 24-7. And off the field, early in the game, comes Keith, and he's already played a full ball game if you check the runs. Needs that breather here. Patriots are forced to settle for Cappelletti field goal after Emil Karras diagnoses a flare-action pass and pounds Ron Burton into the turf for a 6-yard loss. 24-10 Chargers. And now we see Don Norton, with the accompaniment of Mickey Finn's cannon, take a screen pass from Rote on a 14-yard scoring play that raised the Chargers' halftime lead to 31-10. It's a happy crowd at Balboa Stadium. Okay, coming back in the second half. It's Rote dropping back behind airtight pass protection, aiming for Allworth. Boy, isn't this brutal. Again, Lance commits larceny, fleecing Bob Soucy, and continuing on into the end zone to make the score Chargers 38, Patriots 10. Let's take a look at Paul McGuire now. Back the Patriots up to their own goal line with this beautiful coffin corner punt. Just like it had eyes, that football goes out of bounds on the 2-yard line to mark the Chargers' second and last punt of this entire game. And the Charger defense doesn't give an inch here. Billy Lott runs into the worst kind of a stone wall as he bumps into Earl Faison, Ernie Ladd, Chuck Allen, Paul McGuire. Down he goes, hard. Johnny Hadel's now in the ball game for the Chargers, fourth and final quarter, and the ambitious Mr. Hadel's not running out the clock. Here he hits Don Norton on a beautifully executed slant pattern for a 30-yard gain. And Hadel comes right back, befuddling the bean counters with some deft ball handling and completing a check-through pass over the middle to, there he is again. That's that Lincoln man. Well, the Chargers now lead 44-10. And it's Hadel once more, eluding a hard rush, and they're throwing complete to Big Jack McKinnon, who shakes off a tackler and is barely tripped up after a 33-yard advance. Hadel climaxes this drive by doing it himself, diving over from the 1 for the final score. And man, oh man, look at the scoreboard for this championship ball game. San Diego Chargers, New World Champions 51, Boston Patriots 10. Who'd believe it? Man, what a season, wasn't it? The Chargers and their fans will never forget it. But you can't live in the past. The Chargers can't afford to rest on their laurels, and neither can San Diegans. I'm sure you all know that committees are right now actively engaged in devising ways and means of constructing a new 50 to 60,000 seat multi-purpose stadium right here in San Diego. If successful, fans can look forward to watching the Chargers, Major League Baseball, and many other outstanding events and facilities similar to these right here. Here we see an aerial view of the new home of the New York Jets and Mets, Shea Stadium in Flushing Meadows, adjacent to the World Fair. The Chargers will play here this fall. Now, next is this skeletal view of Houston's new, exciting, domed stadium, which will house the Oilers and the Colts by 1965. And finally, an architect's design which is similar to that which will be constructed in Oakland to accommodate the Raiders and another intended Major League Baseball team. There's something, aren't they? I don't know about you, but I can hardly wait until San Diego has its own ultra-modern, multi-purpose stadium to be proud of. And we'll have it, but it'll take the all-out effort by all of us. You, me, our neighbors, everybody. Meanwhile, let's pack Balboa Stadium and support all the wonderful organizations and activities throughout the county. Now, folks, here's a reminder. The Chargers depend on American Airlines to get them to their destinations on Astro Jets because they are more powerful, faster, smoother, quieter, and more comfortable. Allow American Airlines the opportunity to fly you on your next trip, and you will arrive relaxed, refreshed, and ready to conduct your business or enjoy your well-earned vacation or visit. Now for American Airlines and the San Diego Chargers, this is Al Coupe saying so long.